I'm Octopus, and today we are gonna take a look at the North Carolina, a Tier 8 battleship, silver Tier 8 battleship, one of the oldest battleships in the game. But first thing first, guys, as you might know, I opened this channel not too so much long time ago, and I'm still looking to grow up as video content creator. So if you find these kind of videos useful, entertaining, or whatever, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel in order to support me. Also, if you want, leave in the comments of the video any specific request that you might have about a specific ship that you want to be reviewed on this channel, and I will try at least to satisfy your request. So, speaking of this match, we are blessed in the sense that this is a top tier match in NC, but still what I'm gonna say about the ship, it applies also if you are facing tier 9s or even tier 10s. So, NC, or North Carolina, has 2.0 sigma, which means that the dispersion of these guns is actually very good, and she excels at long range, but especially at medium range. Why not at long range? Not at long range because the shell travel time is so damn long. The shells are very slow to reach the target. We can see the actual values in the import, as always, at the end of the video. But I can tell you that NC has some of the slowest shells in the game when it comes to battleships. So it is not that easy to aim and to lead your with the North Carolina. But once you get used to it, it is very rewarding. So in this sense, I think the North Carolina is the perfect example of what every battleship in the game should be. North Carolina rewards you if you aim correctly, and it punishes you if you misplay, in the sense that if you give broadside in the NC, you get punished, and you get punished heavily. Because yes, you have a kind of waterline citadel, but it is a huge citadel, and you don't have any kind of turtleback like German battleships or any spaced armor like French battleships, nothing like that. If you give broadside, you get punished. And this is a very good design because it's a battleship that rewards good play and punishes bad play. So you see, this Dallas is stopping in the open, giving us full broadside. I didn't play NC in a while, and I didn't lead correctly my first volley because it was too high, but this seems much better, and this is our first blood and first kill. But now we are, as you can see from the minimap, we are facing a synop there, exactly. This guy is on our left, and we have two battleships on our right, the Massachusetts and the Bayern. So we don't want to overextend, because if we go further, we are going to put ourselves into a crossfire. So this is the time when we start reversing, or stopping at least. We don't want to show broadside. Here I didn't lead correctly my shot. Once again, it took me a while to regain the correct lead in the North Carolina, because, as I said, the shells are so slow, and you have to take an extra lead when you play the ship, and I was not used to it anymore. This Bayern is showing us a lot of broadside. We cannot citadel the Bayern, of course, but we can still penetrate the her superstructures, and you can deal very good damage. Because we have 406s that at tier 8 are very monstrous caliber. So especially when you're facing tier 6s and 7s, you are more than fine with the caliber of these guns. So as you can see, NC has a peculiar playstyle in the US battleship line, because NC is one of the few US battleships that can that is happy to play nose in and reversing and this kind of Yamato playstyle, because you have a good armor if angled. As you can see, we can mitigate the vast majority of the shells fired at us, especially from medium range. You have good guns, so you want to have your guns to bear, but you have 2/3 of your firepower in the front. So if you get stuck nose in, you're still going to use the majority of your firepower. If you do this in a Montana, for example, you would just use 50% of your firepower. So in this sense, NC and to a certain extent Iowa as well, they can be used. They can be played nose in like that. It might not be the best playstyle, but if you're forced to, you are more than able to do that. This Bayern, we don't get the kill on the Bayern. She survives with like 60 HP. And now that we got rid of the potential crossfire because of this Bayern, we can happily go and deal with the Sinop that is in front of us. Why? Because the Massachusetts, as you can see from the minimap, left this flank is just leaving because we have a stronger presence on this flank. So we are not fearing getting citadel from the side, from the Massachusetts, because Massachusetts also has 1.7 sigma, if I'm not mistaken, or even 1.8. I don't really remember, but she's not nearly as accurate as we are from long range. So we can get away in giving her broadside. Here I shot a nose-in Sinop almost, and I did literally nothing. But we want to get to her side. Here the Sinop gets a lucky volley in the sense that she incapacitated one of my frontal guns, and she's giving us broadside. So as you can see, this is double citadel. If I had my second frontal gun shooting, I would have devastated this guy, but yeah, this is not the case. So now we have to go for the close quarter thing, and we have to keep our angles because we don't want to eat some unnecessary citadels. Here I misplay in the sense that I shot the angled armor of the Sinop, but my back turret finishes the deal. We took some extra damage, but all in all we didn't lose too much HP, so still a very good 1v1 for us. Sinop is not the best battleship to do this kind of stuff because you have a huge citadel, and unlike Kremlin, you get citadel if you give broadside. As you can see, we are 22 kilometers away from this Massachusetts, but we can happily shoot at her because we have 23.3 kilometers of range, and if you can lead correctly, you can land some interesting shots even at these distances thanks to our very good accuracy. As you can see, only 2 hits, but it is still something. It is still 5k on the Massachusetts, so she doesn't even have the range to shoot at us from this distance. So we have to take advantage of our very good dispersion, especially at long range. So don't be afraid of shooting at targets that are 20 kilometers away from you, even more, because if you can lead correctly and if the target doesn't change course or speed or whatever, you might get very nice rewarding shots. Massachusetts is still here. We are getting inside the danger area because at these ranges Massachusetts can punish us because her guns can be much more effective, and I want to avoid getting into her secondary range, of course, which is 11.3. So, but she's gonna go behind the island, so we are perfectly fine here, rejoining our team into the center of the map because we completely cleared this flank, and we don't want to rush their spawn because it will lead into a massive loss of time. We just want to be effective, and in order to do this, we are gonna go towards the central part of the map. NC is one of the battleships that can be played in the central position very easily. You just have to find the good spot to have, in order to have shots on multiple areas of the map. If you can find that spot, you will be very much effective. I chose to go to the flank in this match at first, but you can happily go into a central position on the map, and you will be more than fine, as long as you can keep your angles and don't get citadel from the side. This is always the risk in positioning yourself in the central position on some maps, especially if you don't have a very good positioning and map awareness. So keep this in mind. Massachusetts, she is giving us way too much broadside at these ranges. We have an easy time aiming for her waterline. I mean, Massachusetts has a below waterline citadel, but with our plunging fire, we are able to score a citadel, and with 3 hits, we take down this Massachusetts. The concealment on the NC is very good at 12.3, full concealment build. So you have very good ambush potential as well. So don't underestimate NC concealment. And yes, you can fire from long range, but if needed, you are a decent ambusher in this sense. So don't underestimate these characteristics or this feature of the NC. Here I see that there is a smoke. It is obviously the Kagero that is in front of us. I took a kind of risky decision to switch to HE, because if I spot the Kagero right now, I will not be able to shoot at him. But I don't know, I felt that it was the right call to switch for HE to HE. As you saw, I don't have expert loader on this captain because this is only a 14-point captain. I don't have all 19-point captains on all my ships, and NC was requested on my stream, so I went for a kind of a I must not say potato, but not the best captain ever. As you can see, Kagero at 3.5. Here the dispersion trolls me very, very hard. I'm not sure if this was a lock-on bug or something like that, but no shell hits, I mean no connections from 3.5 kilometers on a Kagero. But I don't know, RNG sometimes is a troll, but with our rear turret we are able to secure this kill, and this is our 4th kill actually. So now the enemy team is left with only the Ranger and a Lenin that was last spotted in the 10 line. So I think my Leon is gonna take care of the enemy Ranger eventually. So in this moment, I'm like, I was thinking about my Kraken, to be honest, and now I want to go and face the Lenin, because Lenin is a very good tier 8 battleship, but she doesn't do very well in close quarter situations. We don't do that well in these situations either, but I'm pretty confident I can do something about the Lenin. We spot the Ranger. We pop our spotting aircraft to enhance even more our range, but the shell travel time at this, at these distances is huge. So I wasn't really, I didn't really understand what the Ranger was doing there. I thought she was moving slowly forward, and instead she was completely stationary for some reasons. And now I'm trying to get some blind fire using the circle on the minimap, but clearly I'm gonna fail big time hitting this Ranger that is going behind the island now. So no luck in this sense. But regardless, the Ranger was not my primary target here. I want to go and deal with the Lenin instead. So we are gonna go and see what we can do about it. The speed of the NC is respectable, 28.9 knots, fully reserved and with the speed flag. So you are not a super fast battleship, but you are not slow either. So don't underestimate NC speed. There we go. This is our target that we are looking for, the Lenin, 14.5 kilometers away from us. We go for a pot shot because we are not detected because we are concealed by this little island in front of us. And well, this is only a ricochet, but we are not supposed to deal any kind of valuable damage to a Lenin from this angle. We want to get our we want to get to its side to be in order to be effective. Here I was trying to look if I could have shot this ranger, but apparently not. There's the island in between. And now, yeah, as you can see, I don't have the turret traverse to do that. And I'm gonna go and face the Lenin. So, once again, NC is a very rewarding ship if played correctly. So, don't show broadside in the NC, especially to accurate battleships like Lenin. Here I was greedy. I wanted to fire at the Lenin with all my guns, and as you can see, I'm showing way too much broadside to this Lenin. I try to angle back in, but she fires and she scores a citadel on me. And this is what I mean when I say that NC is a very rewarding ship if played correctly, but as soon as you misplay, you get punished. And this is good. This is actually good design in my opinion, because you should learn from your mistakes. So next time, I wouldn't go for this kind of maneuver on the Lenin, and hopefully I will try to not eat any more citadels. The Lenin is a little bit impatient and she fires at me when I'm angled, and this is a big mistake. So we can go happily for the drive-by, and we can get our devastating strike, Kraken, and high caliber at the same time. So this was a good drive-by in the end, but we took a citadel on our way. So always remember, angle in the NC and you will be mitigating your the damage. As the moment you give broadside, you get punished. So you don't get away like Tirpitz, Bismarck, these battleships. You will get citadeled. Now the Leon is finishing the Ranger and the match is pretty much over. And we will see the final results of this match, I guess. So these are the final results. 184k damage, not an impressive damage whatsoever, but it was a good match considering that we were top tier. We are supposed to kind of carry the match. Devastating strike, Kraken, first blood, and high caliber. 7 citadels, only 1 fire scored by our secondaries, and yeah, 5 kills, and nothing more to say about it. 2.1 K basic XP. Why that low? Because we shot a lot of targets that were tier 6s and 7s, a couple of tier 8s, but we didn't shoot anything that was like tier 9 and 10, so the XP is not that high, but still it was a good carry. As you can see, basically all the damage came from our primary guns. We don't have any valuable secondaries like Massachusetts, for example. You don't want to shoot HE in NC unless you are facing things like Musashis and Yamato that are nose in or something like that, because you lack the overmatch capacity, especially if you are up tiered. But the bread and butter of the NC are the AP, not HE. We tanked 1.2, 1.3 million potential damage, not an impressive amount, but still, considering that we ate only 36k damage, and the vast majority of this damage was dealt by the Lenin because we misplayed, we can say that the tankiness of the ship is clearly there. NC has always been a good ship in every department, and this is the proof of it. Credit wise, nothing really special to say here. NC is not a premium ship, it's nothing really special. If played properly, it will give you some credit earnings, even without the premium account, but don't expect anything special in this sense. So this is our North Carolina, starting from the modules. Here, try to research all the modules. I think the less valuable is the Rage one. I think I would go for the hull because it gives you a fuck ton of HP. So go for the hull, no questions asked. It will give you some AA and some extra maneuverability as well. So absolutely go for the hull. First, can I stop? Okay. The second, propulsion, it gives you 3.3 knots, not bad. So go for propulsion, and finally go for the gunfire control system. Here I choose the sporting aircraft instead of the fighter. For example, this is a different build from the Massachusetts, if you watch the Massachusetts commentary. Why? Because in NC you want to fire from distance, and your long range accuracy is very good. Plus, you might go for some blind fire in into some smokes, or if you want to have a better vision over the islands. Spotting aircraft is much more valuable than the fighter, in my opinion. Upgrades. Can I get rid of this fucking thing? Okay. We want to preserve our primary guns because they are our main tool to deal damage. Here we go for damage control system modification 1 for additional tankiness. Here you go for main battery modification 2. You don't get the dispersion on US battleships. You don't get the dispersion upgrade in slot 3. This is completely useless because, as we already said, NC has an incredibly good range at 23.3 kilometers already, so you don't really need anything more. So just go for this one because NC has not the best turret traverse ever. So this is 39.1 seconds with this upgrade. So without the upgrade, it is well above over 40 seconds. Here, damage control system modification 2 for more tankiness. You can go for propulsion or steering gears, but considering that you are gonna get in a lot of nosing situations when you are gonna get HE spammed and yada yada, you want some additional tankiness. Finally, concealment. We said that the NC has a very competitive concealment, and you want to enhance it as much as you can. So with this upgrade and concealment expert as captain skill, you are gonna reach a very interesting 12.3 kilometers of concealment. Captain wise, let's see. As I said, this is a only 14-point captain, so this is the standard build on NC. Priority target, adrenaline rush, superintendent, concealment expert, and fire prevention. Then with the remaining 5 points, I would go for preventive maintenance, and I don't know, maybe expert marksman or jack of all trades. If you don't want basic survivability because you think that you are already tanky enough, you can go for example, expert loader and preventive maintenance. This skill might have been useful against that Kagero, for example, switching from AP to HE in half of the time. Even better if you have a special captain like John Doe or Halsey. So if you have John Doe or Halsey, considering going for this skill, that the discount is not 50% but 75% in that case. But this is not mandatory. It can be useful but not mandatory. I would still go for basic survivability to enhance my tankiness as much as possible. So flag wise, very standard for a battleship. More heal, more speed, faster consumables, some AA because NC AA is very good, not as good as well, it is kind of similar to Massachusetts one, so it is not bad at all. So you want to increase your AA firepower and less duration of fires. After this, you can go for flooding time reduced if you want, and even ramming flag because you might end up in situations where you want to be the final torpedo if you are kind of desperate, and this flag can always be useful. So this was my North Carolina commentary, guys. Once again, I remind you that if you want to support me as video content creator, you are very much welcome to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below in the comment section if you want to see a specific ship being reviewed on this channel. If I have the ship, of course, premium or non-premium, it doesn't really matter. I will leave you in the description of the video the link to my Twitch and to my Discord. If you want to join, you are more than welcome as well. And what else I have to say? Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.